Well, I would describe Laguna Beach as unique and historical. We go back to the late 19th century. We trace our roots and we have preserved our history in a lot of ways. I'd say it's probably the art colony aspect of it. You know, over 100 years ago, people started coming here to paint, and they come from Chicago, they came from New York, they came from Pasadena, they came from San Francisco, and it started out as a little artist colony, and we've kind of continued that really to today.
Mid to late 70s, it was a sleepy beach town. The restaurants used to close in the wintertime. It's kind of unimaginable now. You know, and Irvine and Mission Viejo didn't even exist. So it was really kind of an isolated little pocket. It's changed a lot.
It was founded as an arts colony, so there's a lot of focus on the arts here in town, a lot of creative people.
We have huge summer art festivals here. The Festival of the Arts has been going for over 80 years. Continues our identity, which is unique in Orange County. I think it's unique in Southern California. The Sawdust Art Festival, which is more craft-oriented, glass blowing and jewelry and all kinds of different crafts, woodworking. The Pageant of the Masters, it started in the Depression, a decision by the artists to try to bring more people to town so they could sell more art. So they started doing these living pictures. Actors get up on the stage and they pose in the position, and through the magic of lighting, it looks completely two-dimensional.
A final moment for video.
But there also is a very strong history of environmentalism and activism in this town. People care about our community, they care about the environment.
One of the things is Laguna's maintained its community character, and the cities work really hard and the communities work really hard to kind of keep it a place that maintains its charm and community.
I think the natural beauty, the ocean, the hills, you see paintings of the canyon, you see paintings of the hillsides, you see paintings of the coves, and I think there was just such great diversity, and how wonderful would it have been back 100 years ago to come down here. You're one of, maybe a handful of people. You spend the whole summer camping on the beach painting, so it was quite a colony. Living here in Laguna, it's very relaxed. I mean, the city is small enough that you can walk around. We almost never use our car in the summertime. You can walk to restaurants, walk to the festival, walk to the beach. You know, we have music in the park that the city puts on throughout the summer. So there's just always something to do. You know, it's a town of 23,000 people, so it's lots of wonderful friends and neighbors. So it's got that small town feel to it still.
You go by the businesses and everybody waves at each other. Oh, hey, Laura. You know, I see the fire guys go by, we all wave at each other. I mean, everybody knows each other, which I think is really rare. That doesn't happen too much anymore.
I think one of the things that's really unique about Laguna Beach is that the neighborhoods tumble down the hill onto the beaches. So if you go to the beach, at this beach right here, you'll get the neighbors from this neighborhood coming down. You can kind of walk from beach to beach and see the neighbors from the different neighborhoods in town on the beaches. There's a really tight-knit community that spends a lot of time at the beach. At the end of the day, it's the reason people live here.
When you're walking up and down Coast Highway, there are tons of shops. Laguna doesn't allow chain shops, so you won't find anything that you're going to find in a mall. If you have a business, it has to have a wooden sign on it. Everything is unique, including the restaurants.
In the summertime, the beach is packed. I mean, school's still in session, so it hasn't quite hit its peak yet at all. But our marine safety lifeguards say that they are somewhere between 4 and 5 million visitors a year. We have a free trolley system that runs all summer long and weekends throughout the year. The city just decided that we have so many summer visitors and we have such a crush of cars, it was going to be better for everybody if we could get people parking remotely at the edges of town and taking the trolleys in.
So behind us is our boardwalk, which is part of the California Coastal Trail. It starts at the beginning of Laguna, which is Crescent Bay, and you can just go all along the path. You can run, you can walk, and what's very unique about this path is all along the path there's art, public art that has been commissioned by the City of Laguna. There's sculptures, we've got a 9/11 memorial, there's benches made by artists, mosaics, poems that are etched into brass, and that goes all through Laguna, all up and down the coast.
Well, we hope that the California Coastal Trail will get completed and will connect us more. We've spent a lot of time at the city in the last couple of years focusing on pedestrian safety and pedestrian access, and it's a big push, not only here in Laguna, but elsewhere in Southern California to get people out of their cars and back walking more.
This is one of my favorite parts of Laguna. It stretches, for probably about 1.5 miles in North Laguna. It's a beautiful backdrop of the ocean. You've got great glimpses of some of Laguna's most beautiful beaches, our little pocket coves. You have incredible vistas with dolphin and whales in the right time of year. It's a really special spot.
The second element that really defines Laguna Beach that makes us unique is our open space. We have got 20,000 acres of open space that ring the city. It's sort of our emerald necklace, if you will. And the community back in 1980 went and bought a big chunk of Laguna Canyon that's out there to preserve it as open space.
One of the most special things about the community of Laguna Beach is the way that these coastal hillsides and canyons really come right down to the ocean. So you absolutely can walk directly from the beach up into the hillsides and go for a hike. So we have this incredible green belt, and then we have this beautiful ocean as our backdrop.
Laguna is blessed with rocky reefs and kelp beds, which are really the sort of Serengeti of the sea. And when the state of California put together a set of marine reserves up and down the state, Laguna was one of the key areas because the ecosystem here is so rich. So you have everything from whales and dolphins swimming by, octopus, crabs, and I mean, it's just rich with fish and wildlife. Here they established marine reserves, and now there's no take, and so the idea is that it'll give the ecosystem a break and it'll be able to sort of thrive and rebuild the populations of fish. Surfrider and I personally believe that beach access and coastal access is really important, and the ocean and the coast is a public resource. At the end of the day, everyone who lives in coastal communities wants healthy oceans, healthy beaches, and clean water and access to them. So we feel like what we're asking for is really kind of common sense.
It's really important for me to get my feet on the trail or on the sand at least once a day and remind myself of why I do what I do. And I think that holds true for a lot of people. The mental state that it brings you, that sense of peace and of calmness that comes when you're around nature.
I mean, here we are at the edge of the land, and it's also the wilderness. It's a magical place where you have energy. You hear a wave breaks on the beach every 8 seconds, 24/7, 365, for thousands of years. So there's all kinds of energy being pushed up on the shoreline too, and I can't help but feel like that sort of infuses people with that same kind of energy too.